Hello and welcome back to your Iona basketball studio update. I'm your host, Joe Archino, here with our Iona insider, Ian Sacks. Ian, we start with the men's side. Obviously, Iona men's basketball is known for their ability to score the basketball. 8th in the nation last year in points per game. What do they have to do this year to continue that offensive juggernaut that they have?
Well, when you look at Tim Cluse, he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. 5 years here at Iona College. Every single year, the team has been in the top 10 in the nation. That trend is going to continue. You have such a plethora of great, gifted scorers. You have A.J. English. You have Cedric Casimir. You have Isaiah Williams. You have Kelvin Amayo. This team is literally, every single game, a highlight reel for ESPN.
Well, one of the players for Iona men's basketball who certainly had many highlights was David Lowry, the reigning MAC Player of the Year. He is gone. Tell me, Ian, what do they do? How do they counter his production? Clearly, losing a player like that is going to be hard to replace.
Well, David Lowry was such a big matchup problem for opposing teams because he was a 6'8" point forward. He could bring the ball up the court on several possessions, and when you have that type of player, he's so valuable to a team. But as I said earlier, they have so many gifted scorers. This team is so deep. You have to remember last year, they missed Isaiah Williams for about 10 to 12 games. And I think they won just about every single game. I think they lost one in that stretch. So when you look at this team, you think the third leading scorer on the team, he goes down for 12 games and they go 11-1. I mean, this team has so much balance that on any given night, anyone could go off for 30 or 40 points.
Well, you talk a lot about gifted scorers, and clearly on the women's side, Tamika Martinez was as gifted as they come, the MAC all-time leading scorer, also the MAC Player of the Year for the women's team last year. She is gone for that team, Ian. So tell me, how does the women's team move on without her?
Well, not just the MAC Player of the Year last year, the last 3 years, Tamika Martinez had a lock on being named the best player in the MAC every single year. And when you look at it, Joe, you said that she was the MAC all-time leading scorer. She went off for 40 points on a consistent basis. So yes, the women's team is going to be struggling without her. But you know what? I think that they have to find that balance that the men's team has thrived on the last 5 years.
Well, balance is something that certainly they will be looking for as they finished 4th last year. But when you look ahead of that, they had a lot of successful runs before finishing 4th last season. What does the women's team have to do to get back to that winning formula?
Well, I said it earlier. They have to find the balance. They're not going to have that go-to number 1 scorer that they've had the last 4 years in Tamika Martinez. But then when you look at Joy Adams, is a double-double machine. Every single game, she's getting at least 10 points, at least 10 rebounds. She's done it the last 3 years. She's going to continue to do that senior year. Then you have to look at Aaliyah Robinson, the MAC 6th Player of the Year 2 years ago, and you have to look at her. I think that she's going to thrive in a Tamika Martinez-less Iona women's basketball team because she has great range. She has one of the most pretty shots I've ever seen in basketball. The beautiful rainbow from beyond the three-point arc. You feel confident. Once as she releases it, it's going to go in. And then you have to look at the point guard, the catalyst for this team. Marina Lizarazu came in last year and in her first season set the program record for assists in a season. With her controlling the tempo for this team, you have to feel pretty good on offense that they're going to have some success.
Well, I think when it comes to the women's side and the men's side, there's going to be a lot of hope and a lot of success on both sides of the basketball. But until we get the season started up, he's your insider, Ian Sacks. I'm Joe Archino. We will be here locked into all Iona basketball coverage all season. But until then, we'll see you folks next time.